Hi, welcome back to the session. So in the previous session we discussed about what is network security, who are all vulnerable, what are the best practices and basics of firewalls, etc. So now we'll see what is this packet snipping. So packet snipping is nothing but packet is snooped by the attacker or the hacker over the network. So here there are two types of attacks. One is passive attack, another one is active attack. In case of passive attack, what will happen is hacker or attacker simply they will observe or monitor the network. But in case of active attack, they will modify the content. They will modify the content of the packet. That is called as a active attack, or totally they can discard the message or the information over the network. That is also called as a active attack. So data theft. So in this case what will happen is, as I told, this is a passive attack. Client is sending some information to the server. In between, that message is hacked by the attacker or the hacker. Actual message is transferred to the destination, but same message is observed or taken by hacker. Sometimes the attacker or the hacker, they just wanted to or interested to know about the message. They don't want to corrupt or disturb that message. This is called as a data theft, passive attack. Data modification. This is active attack. In this case what will happen is, once clients send the information over the network, the hacker will receive that message and they will corrupt that message or modify that message and send it to destination. One of the best example is, suppose I will send a message to my friend saying that please credit so many dollars to my account so. But hacker what will do is, they grab that message and they modify that account number. Instead of my account number, they can put their own account number and send it to my friend. What will happen here? My friend will simply, okay, he asked me to credit some amount, so he will credit to specified account number. But that account number is hacker's account number, not my account number. So this type of data modification will happen in case of active attack. Another thing is data disruption. So here what will happen is, hacker will totally discard that message. One of the classical example is, central government may send some important alert to the state governments. But what will happen is, hacker will discard that message so that that message will never reach to the state governments. That is danger. This type of attacks are called as active attacks. So how to prevent that? Using encryption techniques. There are two techniques are available: symmetric encryption, that is private key; asymmetric encryption, public private key. So symmetric encryption is the conventional private key or single key encryption technique. Before 1970s or early 1970s, this is the only technique can be used for encryption. In case of symmetric encryption, both sender and recipient share the common key, that is private key. Before 1970s, most of the or all of the classical encryption algorithms based on this symmetric key. So how it will happen? What is this model, symmetric cipher model? So here there is a text encrypted by a sender using a private key, that is common key between sender and the receiver. You will transfer that over to the network, and once it reaches to the destination, they will decrypt using once again same key, private key, and get the message. So what is the disadvantage here? Both sender and receiver uses the common key, then that common key should be transferred over the network. Somehow, if hacker able to get that common key, then network is in danger. They can do anything. So how to overcome that problem? Using another algorithm called as asymmetric encryption. So here there are two keys. One is public key, another one is private key. So usually anyone can encrypt the message using the public key, and holder of that private key can decrypt that message. So here totally security depends upon security of the private key. How secure the private key? Then this logic or algorithm also secure. Now based on this asymmetric algorithm, we'll see details about secure socket layer, SSL. So SSL uses symmetric encryption and PKI. What is this new thing, PKI? PKI is nothing but public key infrastructure. Before going to the details of SSL, we should understand what is this PKI. We'll see some of the basics about these keys and PKI. So here key length determines the encryption strength. That means longer the key length, the algorithm is stronger. That means if I encrypt the message using AES 256 is stronger than AES 64 or 128, that is key length is less. Or if I use 3 AES, triple AES with 512 key length is better than AES 256. So if I use the stronger keys, then my data is more secure. So how this key will be generated? As I told, always this asymmetric algorithm or asymmetric encryption technique works with key pair. One is public and private key. How it will generate the key is, first we have to generate a random number, some big random number. Then we have to pass that random number to the key generation algorithm, anything, DES or AES, whatever it is. That is called as a seed. We have to pass that seed to the key generation algorithm. Then key generation algorithm will generate pair of key, that is called as public key and private key. So in case of PKI, public key infrastructure, we have to follow three rules. We should follow these three rules. That is, what one key does, the other key undoes. That means if I encrypt the message using the public key, then decrypt should happen using private key. If sender encrypt the message using private key, then receiver has to decrypt that using public key. Second rule is encryption always uses the recipient public key. Sender always use recipient's public key to encrypt the message. Before sending the message, he or she has to use destination's public key to encrypt the message. The private key is exclusively used for digital signature. We'll see what is this digital signature. So this is the example. She wanted to send some message to Bob. What she will do is, Bob, this document is for you. She will encrypt that using Bob's public key, not her public key. Other side's recipient's public key and encrypt it and send over the network. Once Bob receives that, he will decrypt that message using his own private key. Here, important thing what we have to notice is we never transfer private key over the network. We never transfer private key over the network. So what is this digital signature? So this is nothing but, in some cases, we have to make sure that this message I got is from that person only. For example, in this case, she need a confirmation that yes, I got this message from Bob only, not from others. How to do that? Here private key is totally a private, we are not sharing that to anybody, but public key is public, anybody knows. So we make sure that we have to sign this document using private key. We have to generate a signature that is called as a digital signature using our own private key. What she is doing now? In this case, she wanted to send this message to Bob. So she will generate using some hashing algorithm. She will get a digest. Then what she will do? She will encrypt that digest using her private key. Her private key. Instead of Bob's public key, she is encrypting that message, her public key. So digital signature is ready, transfer over to the network. Once Bob got that message, he will recalculate that hash or get the digest and decrypt that message or the signature using her public key, not his public key. Sender's public key. He is using sender's public key to decrypt. Then he will get the original message. So here private key is totally confidential. Once this decryption everything is fine, I can guarantee or make sure that yes, this or Bob can guarantee that this message is sent by her only. This is the beauty of digital signature. In case of digital signature, what we will do is we are encrypting the message using private key, decrypting the message using public key. But in the other case, normal encryption, what we will do is we are encrypting the message using public key and decrypting the message using private key. So how to trust this one? How trust is established between this? Because both are having public key and private key pairs. In this case, hackers can simply send hi, I am Bob, and he will send his public key to her. Anyway, she got the public key and one, so what she will do is she thought that yeah, okay, I am talking with Bob. So what she will do, she will reply back. That is wrong. That is wrong because here hacker is sending the message on behalf of Bob. So what is the guarantee now? So to avoid this problem, the trust relationship is happen in this way. So here I gave one example. Credit card industry. I am swiping a credit card in the shopping mall. So how the shop owner is having the trust on me, but he is not having the direct trust here because I got the credit card from somewhere. For example, I am having the American Express credit card, Amex card. So I am having the or Citibank. So I am having a trust between bank and me. At the same time, shop owner is also having trust between that bank and shop. Okay. So what the shop owner think that is, okay, bank will pay for me, not this customer. So I can directly swipe that card in the shop. I am not paying anything, but shop owner will be having the direct trust over the bank, so he will get money from bank. So this type of relationship works here in case of PKI. In PKI, there will be a certificate. We will see what is the certificate, what is the content and all. Similar to the bank, there will be a third party certification authority who will issue the certificate. So here sender and the receiver having the direct trust between certification authority and implied trust between them. Sender and receiver, they are having the implied trust, but both are having the direct trust between certificate authority. In this case I mentioned that VeriSign who issued the certificate. Similar to the credit card, here we are having direct trust between VeriSign, that is certificate authority, and the user. So what is this certificate? So certificate, usually it is having who issued this certificate, who is the owner of the certificate, and public key of the issuer, digital signature, that is there will be a guarantee that yes, this certificate is genuine and issued by VeriSign only, that is digital signature of certification authority, that is CS digital signature. It will guarantee that yes, this is issued by that particular CA only. And validity of the certificate, that is start date, end date, expiry date. And important thing is public key of that user or owner of that certificate. In this case, if you consider Bob, so this certificate is having Bob's public key. So certificate also having the standards. Usually this certificate should be in binary format, that is called as a binary certificate, which comes from ASN V1 standard, or it is base 64 or B64 format. Now we'll see this asymmetric algorithm works with public key, private key pairs. Always sender has to encrypt the message using recipient's public key. So how sender will know about recipient's public key? So here what will happen is, she is sending a request to the Bob saying that please send me the certificate. So Bob will send his own certificate. Then it is duty of her to verify whether this is genuine certificate or not. She will examine the content of certificate. In the certificate we will have who is the certification authority, digital signature, and issuer public key, etc., etc. So using all those things, she will verify whether this certificate is available in my trusted store. Yes, if this certificate is available in my trusted store, then I will verify the subject name, owner of that certificate, then who is certification authority, and verify the digital signature. If everything is fine, then what she will do is, here she will send some random data, because now as we see, instead of Bob, somebody else can send their certificate using their own public key. But here I need a guarantee, or I need a signature from the Bob. Yes, I am Bob only. Then she will send a random data to Bob. Bob what will do is, he will generate a digest and he will generate a signature, that is using his private key, his own private key. He will encrypt that and he will send it to her. Once she received that, she has to decrypt using Bob's public key, because she already got Bob certificate. That Bob certificate having public key. Using that public key, she is trying to decrypt that message. If the decryption everything is works fine, then that will give guarantee that yes, I got a certificate from Bob only. Otherwise it will fail, because here signature is generated using the private key. Private key is totally confidential and not shared between anyone. So in this way, public key exchange and certificate verification will happen. So what is this SSL? We'll stop here, and we'll see details about SSL and how this SSL works, and how handshake will happen. We'll see those things in the next session.